What is up, folks? Welcome back to Booster House. Today we're going to talk about something a little different. Today we're going to talk about how to mail cards within Canada. We're not talking about how to package them securely. We're talking about how to break down the confusing entity that is Canada Post. Basically, over the last year, I've been mailing out tons of cards all over Canada, and I'm trying to figure out the cheapest way to do it. Hello. Tracking's a whole other story. Letter mail doesn't involve tracking. But what I want to break down to you is the cheapest and most efficient way to get these cards mailed out. So basically in Canada, we have 3 different kinds of stamps we can buy. We can buy permanent stamps. We can get Canadian oversized letter mail stamps. And we can buy American stamps. The Canadian stamps are called permanent stamps because that means they're permanently good to send a letter. You'll see that there's not a rate on there. So basically you can hold on to the stamp for 25 years. If the cost of a stamp goes up, these stamps will still be good. But the thing is all these stamps are good for different sizes and different weights. And that's what I'm here to break down with you guys. So your basic one is the Canadian permanent stamp. Buying a single one costs $1.07, but you can buy booklets like this. And when you buy a booklet, it costs 92 cents a stamp. And sometimes Canada Post will be combined with like a Shoppers Drug Mart or a Rexall or something. And every once in a while, they will put them on sale. So keep your eye out for that because you can get them even cheaper. These stamps are good for 0 to 30 grams. So it's not going to be mini cards. The max dimensions for the envelope are 24.5 centimeters by 15.6 centimeters by 5 millimeters. So you're really not worried about the length and the width. You're more worried about the actual depth of the envelope and how much that's going to take up. Because these permanent stamps, like I said, only 5 millimeters. We're working with half a centimeter here. I always have a ruler when I'm doing my packages. Yeah, half a centimeter, we're not working with much there. So in this case, half a centimeter almost takes up the entire bubble mailer. So the bubble mailer is pretty much out of the question for a basic permanent stamp. Where you're gonna get your real value is the oversized rate stamps. It's $1.94 plus tax per stamp. These are good for 0 to 100 grams. The big difference here is the width of the package goes from half a centimeter to 2 centimeters. So all of a sudden, this bubble mailer is good to go with tons of room. When recommending mailing protected cards to people, I always say go with the oversized letter mail. Unless you're just sending a single card, doesn't need much protection because it's not very expensive, then you can definitely get into an envelope with a regular permanent stamp. Like I said, when I'm sending out my packages, I have a ruler because you really have to check the width of the package because that's going to make the difference. And I have a scale. Having a scale is really important because then you're going to know the difference between your permanent stamp or your oversized. Like I said, the regular is 0 to 30, and 30 plus will then go up to the oversized letter mail. It gets a little trickier with the United States stamps because technically a United States stamp can carry 30 to 50 grams because it goes for $1.30, but that's a different story. We'll get into that in another video. Another thing that you have to keep into account when sending out cards is the minimum envelope size. Once I thought I'd be smart and get an envelope like this that would just perfectly fit top loader. It'd be nice and secure. I can mail that out. But these envelopes are actually too small because there is a minimum envelope size of 14 centimeters by 9 centimeters. And although you couldn't even go that thin, 0.18 millimeters. So keep that in mind. These envelopes are too small to get sent out in the mail. But a regular plain white envelope will work just fine. Like I said, we're not going to really get into how to properly secure your cards. I'm just going to run through a couple experiments here. We're going to start off with mailing out one single trading card. We're gonna say the value is less than $10, so we're not worried about getting tracking. We're not worried about over packaging it. We just want to get it to them unbent in the same condition we sent it. I would start out putting the card in the sleeve. I prefer to use actual plain sleeves compared to penny sleeves because they hold the card securely. So if it were to be upside down in the package, the card would never even fall out of the sleeve, let alone the top loader. I will then put it into a top loader, knock it down. So I've seen this debated online about putting tape on the top of the top loader because you don't want that card to come out and touch that tape. But like I said, I put it in a very tight playing sleeve. That card's not coming out of there. So what I will do next is I will tape the top of the top loader. Usually I would measure that out so it's perfectly sealing it. We'll get that taped up. So I'm setting one card. I can assume that this is going to end up being below the 30-gram threshold for the permanent stamp, but I'm still going to weigh it before. So what you're going to do is top loaders for a single card that you're not too worried about the condition. You know what? That's going to get the job done. Unless Canada Post takes that and snaps it in half, like, it's going to be okay. You can slide that in there. And then you're going to throw it on there with the envelope onto the scale. So we're going to measure that one card with one sleeve, one top loader, and an envelope comes to 12 grams. That's going to be well within the weight threshold for the permanent stamp. Then you just have to double check how thick it is. I can tell you right now by looking at it, it's going to be fine, but I'm still going to get out the ruler. I have to double check that we're looking at 5 millimeters, so half a centimeter. We're golden. So what I would do, top left corner, I would put my information, large letters right in the middle. I would put this recipient's information. People have different opinions on this, but you could write "do not bend" on it. Some people think just because "do not bend" is on there doesn't mean a single thing. Some people think it actually hurts because some mailmen will actually see that and bend it. Let's just hope that's not true. You could write that on there. So you get all their info. You slap your 92-cent permanent stamp on there. And here's another thing that people forget. They're like, oh, well, I'm just going to have to wait till I can get to the post office. Every single community in Canada has a local red Canada Post mailbox. You can take your letter any time of the night, go drop it in that box. There will be a time right on the box that will tell you when it will be picked up the next day. And then that means your card's already in circulation, it's out of your hands, and your job is done. You don't have to wait to get a ride at the post office or something like that. So that's why it's nice to stock up on these stamps and booklets, especially when they're on sale. Okay, then we're gonna have a new scenario here where we're gonna say a customer purchased 4 cards from you. So we're gonna do the exact same thing we did last time. Sleeve them up in the playing sleeves. Again, if these were more expensive cards, we could get into how to really protect these from getting damaged, but it's kind of a never-ending story there. I'm trying to really get down the prices of mailing these things out. You should never be sending less than 15 cards through a package. Canada Post really burns you with their fuel surcharges, so try to keep them out of packages, try to keep it to lettermail. We're gonna do the same thing. Top load them up. So now, since this is a bit bigger order, I can assume it's probably going to get to the oversized lettermail rate. I'm gonna see what it weighs in one of my nice bubble mailers here. These are a very nice size envelope. There's debate whether or not bubble mailers actually protect something like a trading card from being damaged more, but look at that, like with all this top loader stacked together, that's not going to be getting damaged. Before we weigh it, let's make sure that this envelope's actually thin enough. So for oversized letter mail, we're looking at 2 centimeters. I'm gonna hold it up. Oh yeah, we got lots of room there. So now we're gonna put it on the scale. Make sure we're not able to trim this down. No, we wouldn't have been able to. It comes to 46 grams. So yeah, that's going to be perfect for our oversized letter mail. So now I'm sending 4 cards, top loaded, for $2, plus the envelope. A lot of people think that it costs a lot more than that to send these cards out, and it really doesn't, guys. That's going to work perfectly. Let me know if you have any more questions. I want to make another part to this where we get into sending actual packages and ways to cut down costs on that. But when it comes to the stamp system and the letter mail system, CanadaPost.com makes it very confusing, and then when you go into the actual post office itself, there are not much help at all. So there's ways to make your packages cheaper, and I'm here to help you. Alright guys, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Leave all the questions below. Have a great day.